Shalom. Shalom. Aha. Wa. Baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. And first and foremost, hold on. We gotta move this. Stand over there. Over here? Yeah, this sun's already attacking us, man. We can't. The sun moves fast around here, guys. The sun is already moving. Yeah, stand right there. I don't want him to get caught up in the heat again. All right. Like I said, Shalom, Aha, Wa, Baraka, which means peace, love, and blessings. Facing the east, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukwakadash. And we want to give double honors to all the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years without wavering to the left or to the right. And what wavering means is coming out with false doctrine or changing your doctrine due to the fact that somebody's paying you off. So the people you want to listen to are the ones that are sincere and righteous in this 100% truth. With that being said, let's get right into it. So as you guys can see, we've got Yellowstone Park. All the animals are leaving. It's probably nothing. But the animals are leaving, though. I mean, it seems like these days, the animals are smarter than us. You got the animals leaving Yellowstone Park. I forget how to say the name of the Hawaiian volcano that just erupted yesterday. Huge eruption there. How about in Russia, there was an eruption. We've got 8.8 magnitude earthquakes with tremors coming out at like 7. You don't understand what's going on here. This is it, guys. This is what we've been prophesying. This is what we've been teaching for years. And now we're living it real time. And guess what? People still don't believe. Nobody believes it. Oh, it's no. That's all done away with. Okay, let's go right into it. Let's go to the book of, give me Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. We're going to start right there. Hold on. Jeremiah chapter 30 and 7. Jeremiah chapter 30, KJV authorized.
Chapter 30 and 7?
Yep.
Jeremiah, chapter 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that naught is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
This is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. They're taking immigrants and flying them in cargo jets, opening the back, while the immigrants are shackled and handcuffed, and dropping them into the ocean. That sounds weird. You know what it reminds me of? When the slave ships found out that slavery was illegal, and they took the slaves that were on the ship that were shackled still and threw them overboard into the ocean. There is nothing new under the sun. We're right here. We're at the beginning. So they're dropping people off of airplanes. We've got the animals leaving Yellowstone Park. We've got the volcanoes rising up. What is that Hawaiian place called? Hakiti? I don't know, but it went off. And in Russia, a volcano erupted. Like I said, these things are happening. Not only is the earth showing you that he's begun to visit us again, but the actions of men are also showing you. Let's jump around. Let's go to the let's get and you know, the thing about Jacob's trouble is it's really important. Let's see if I can find it. 2/3 must die, but 1/3 will be left. I think it's Zechariah. I'm not sure. Let me see. Go. Zechariah 13:8. Yep, I was right. Yes, read Zechariah. Now here, I'll get it since I have it. It shall come to pass. Now we're talking about Jacob's trouble. So during Jacob's trouble, certain things have to happen. So let me show you what has to happen during Jacob's trouble. It shall come to pass that in the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. So 2/3 of the Israelites are going to be cut off and die. But the third shall be left therein. So only 1/3 of the Israelites that are following, that say that they're so-called following the truth, only 1/3 are going to be left therein. In other words, only 1/3 of them are going to be saved. So most of the people, according to the Bible, are going to be taken out, straight up. Let's go over to the book of Acts, chapter 2. 19. See, the truth did have an effect on people.
Acts 2:19, and I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke.
Let's start with there's a lot of bloodshed. I mean, we've got all of the like the massacres going on in Gaza. Not even to mention the wars, but just in our own streets. You just had a guy yesterday go in a mass stabbing, a mass stabber. What do you call it? And I guess attempted murder. He ran around and he stabbed like 7 people in Walmart. So the blood, people are going crazy at this point. There's all kinds of uproars of the people. Neighbor against neighbor. I mean, it goes right into Matthew chapter 24. Not even trying to get into it yet, but it literally takes you there. It takes you there. So, and I will show wonders in the heavens above. Well, let's see. We've got the blood moons. We've got the all of the crazy storms. We've got what they say in October 29th, that there's a 7-mile wide unidentified object that's going to be here October 29th. I mean, things are happening, and it's all happening real time. This isn't like, oh, well, you know, this, that, and the third, justify bullshit. Nope, not this time, guys. You're going to have to hunker down or be destroyed by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, when he sends Yahushai. So, let's...
Read 20?
Yes, read 20.
Acts 2:20. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come.
So the day of Yahweh, it says that there's going to be, what is that? A blood moon, and the sun shall be turned to darkness. Now let's just say that Mount St. Helen erupted with earthquakes. It causes... Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in between Tucson, where we're at right here, and Phoenix, there's a bunch of volcanoes. And if you look on Google Maps, you can actually see them steaming, like little smoke coming out of them.
They call Yosemite the mother of all volcanoes. When it erupts with so much ash in the air that it will send the earth into a ridiculous weather.
So the brother over here was saying that the Yosemite,
Yes.
when the Yosemite volcano erupts, that it will send so much ash into the air that it will cause a nuclear winter.
Nuclear winter where it blocks out the sun.
So it's gonna, what is it gonna do? So the sun will be turned into darkness because it's going to block out the sun. So there is a possibility that this could happen at any time. All the signs are there. I mean, the animals, when you see the animals leave and then try to pretend like, well, it's no big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal when you see a herd of bears leaving, when bears don't chill together. Bears are kind of hang out by themselves kind of animals. So when you see them all, like 40 of them walking up, you know there's a problem. Let's jump around a little bit, because we know that and I want to bring out one more thing before I move on. The sun being turned into darkness, and where was I? What was that? The sun will be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood. That's what I wanted to get. The moon into blood. Now, these blood moons that we've been having, the last lunar eclipse, last solar eclipse, that we had, that was during the day on a blood moon, where it blocked out the sun for like 30 seconds. You could actually see the stars. Remember that? And it was told that that was a sign of things to come, of a sign of judgment. X marks the spot. There was two eclipses right over America in a row. X marks the spot. And so we've had those blood moons warning us that these things are getting ready to start happening. So, and it says, and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of Yahweh. So we are having these are warning signs that he's sending us to tell us to get prepared for his coming. Man, we're right in the direct sun already. We do not. Sorry about that, guys. If you knew how brutal this sun was, you would understand. Maybe over here is a better spot. We got to fight for shade around here. All right. You know what? Let's do it like this. There's a shady spot right here. It seems to stay shady. All right. Right on us, right there. All right. Salakia. It's already over 100 degrees out here, so we got to keep that thing in the shade, or it's just gonna turn off. So going back to it, so we know that there's going to be signs, and it even tells you in 19, wonders in the heavens above, signs in the earth beneath. What about the signs in the earth? That's the earthquakes, that's the animals leaving, that's the volcanoes erupting, that's the tsunamis hitting Hawaii and Japan and China. I mean, come on, guys. You don't see it happening? You don't see Jacob's trouble? This is the very beginning of it. It's got to get worse before it gets better. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. It's in the Old Testament, right after Proverbs. And it's chapter 1, verse 9.
Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun.
So the thing that has been is the thing that's going to be done. So what has been? Well, in the past, what happened? Noah had to get on the ark, right? And when he closed the door, that's when destruction happened. Before he closed that door, nobody believed him for 120 years of prophesying that water would fall from the sky. Because anybody that ever read the Bible knew that water never fell from the sky until the flood. That's why they didn't believe him. They thought he was crazy, which is perfect, because that's how they feel about us. What about Lot? Didn't he leave first safely, and then the fire and brimstone rained down? You know what? Let's get it. Give me Luke. So I'm going to read 1 and 9 again. You get me Luke 17, 26 through 30, but we'll go through that. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 again. The thing that has been, the past, is going to repeat itself. So in the past, what happened? Noah got on the ark. In the past, what happened? Lot left Sodom. And then there was destruction. There was judgment following. So go ahead and give me Luke chapter 17, starting at verse 26.
Luke 17 or 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives. They were given in marriage until that day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
Listen to that. They did eat and they did drink. It doesn't say that, like, so you guys got to understand, in this Jacob's trouble, everybody's going to get hit a little different by it. We're not all going to get the same thing. The only thing that I know that we're all going to get hit with that's the same is the MOTB, the mark of the beast. We're all going to have that to buy, sell, or trade. We'll get into that in a minute, though. But the point right here is everybody was doing what they wanted. They were living their perfect worldly life until the doors of the ark were closed. So they did eat and they did drink, they did marry wives, they were given in marriage until the day Noah entered the ark. So after that 120 years of him prophesying like a wise virgin would do and trying to teach them right from wrong, after 120 years of that, he was finally finished building the ark, and when he got into the ark, it was too late. So the doors of the ark were closed. And then the flood came and the people all died. So it's going to be the same way in this day and age. You're going to be partying your ass off until it's too late, and then you're just going to be cut off and die. So keep reading. 28.
Luke 17 and 28. Likewise, also it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded.
Keep reading.
But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
So once again, the people that he chose were put in a safe place first. Lot and his daughter. His wife looked back and was turned into a pillar of salt. So if you burn something and it turns into a pillar of salt, it's not going to be a statue of the person looking back. Nah, it's going to be like a pile of shit, because it's just going to be a little dumpling, a little pile of salt on the ground. And you're not going to have a statue. That's funny though. That's neat. But no, absolutely not. And let's keep going. So as in the days of Lot, they ate, they drank, they bought, and they sold, they planted, they built it. So they were farming, they were building, they were buying, they were selling. That sounds like here. That sounds like now. All those things were going on, and then destruction came. So I want to show you guys something, because this is a prophecy that has not yet been fulfilled. And it's, let me grab it real quick. This is Revelation chapter 11 and 12. So I showed you in Luke I showed you in Ecclesiastes that there's nothing new under the sun. History's repeating itself. I showed you in Luke that they were buying and selling and partying and marrying and doing all that until Noah got on the ark. I showed you that Lot also left the city before what? In safety, before destruction. All of these places have something in common. They're being destroyed. So what's the future prophecy? This is Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven, saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. That has not happened yet. That is what's going to happen to us when we leave. So we haven't left yet. See, Noah already got on the ark. Lot already left Sodom. But nobody has ascended into the clouds yet. And while the enemy of Israel watches, that hasn't happened. So let's keep reading, though, because it shows destruction right after all the people died there. It shows fire and brimstone for Lot. So let's see what it says about us in our future prophecy. I'm going to read right through. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and a tenth part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. And the remnant were affrighted and gave glory unto Yahweh of heaven. So wait a second. So not only do we rise up into the clouds, into the chariots in safety, but we get to watch the destruction of this place. And it gets destroyed to the point where we're scared and we're in say, holy shit, dropping down to a knee. Thank you, Father, for saving us. I didn't know you were going to do all that. I just thought this, that. No, you really destroyed this place. And that hasn't happened yet. But we see the animals leaving. We see the volcanoes building up. We see the earthquakes getting stronger. We have the biggest wildfire in history right now. I think it's in California. Biggest wildfire in history. So you tell me, is it happening? And we haven't even gotten to Matthew. Well, I don't even know if I was going to bring out Matthew's cousin. I might as well. I'm just going to bring out a couple verses in Matthew just because it pertains. This all pertains to Matthew chapter 24. So let's get that really quick. Yeah. 6, 7, and 8.
Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nations.
Wait, hold on. So do we have wars? We got Ukraine and Russia. We've got Gaza and Israel. We got America in the background trying to help everybody. We got China threatening. We've got every nation right now getting into position for the Third World War. Keep reading.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
Now I know that we've already gone through the earthquakes in diverse places. Where are these earthquakes happening? In places that they almost never happen at. So get that next verse.
All these are the beginning of sorrow.
So these are the beginnings of sorrows. What is the beginning of sorrows? Jacob's trouble. But what does it tell you? You shall be saved out of it. So let's prove that also in Matthew chapter 24. Jump to verse 13. Wait, read 12. And then, start at 11 and read through 13.
Matthew 24 and 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
Many false prophets are going to rise and deceive many. In fact, there's a guy that always comes and harasses us. And one week, when my buddy was here, he heard him. He said, I am Christ. So he called himself the Christ. And that literally takes us to verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and deceive many. Liars. Go back over to verse 12 again.
Actually, okay.
11. So many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. But Christ is with me. Come over here where I'm at. But then they don't teach the Bible. No, Christ is over here with me. Come where I'm now. They want some money. So they never actually teach you the Bible. They're teaching you a feel-good message to get paid. Go to verse 12.
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
So when it gets crazier and crazier, people stop being friends. Everybody starts keeping to themselves. This is all by design. The Most High is actually doing this, but the people in the government, by their slow, systematic demise of the country, they think that they actually have control. In fact, I got to get that really quick. The king's heart is in the Lord's hand. Hold on. Yeah. Go ahead and read 12 and 13 together.
Matthew 24, 12 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
See that? It tells you we're in the beginning of sorrows, but it also tells you that if you endure till the end, the same shall be saved. In Jeremiah 30 and 7, it tells you this is Jacob's trouble, but ye shall be saved out of it. It tells you in Zephaniah, 3 and 14, that 2/3 of you are going to die, but 1/3 shall be saved. Where do you want to be in the end of all this? Where do you want to be when this is over? This is real time happening to us, and we're just kind of like letting it go. Most people are in denial of the truth. So let me get this real quick. This is Proverbs 21 and 1 because I said that everybody, they think that they're producing their cause, but actually the Most High is in full control. So Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is actually in full control. And this is Proverbs 21 and 1, King James Version. The king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whatsoever he will. The king's brain, his mind, how he thinks, is being controlled by the Most High. And whatsoever the Most High wants, that's what happens. And right now, he's letting this king think that he's actually the ruler of the world, of the free world. But that's all going to get changed back to normal soon, too. That's why we need Yahweh Shai to come back and save us. But like I said, everything is happening for a reason, and everything is under divine control. That's why it says, just endure until the end. The same shall be saved. All these things must come to pass. Right? All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It actually tells you, see that ye be not troubled. Why would we be troubled? So let me read that to you real quick. So this is verse 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. So you 1/3, there's nothing to worry about. If you're doing what the Bible tells you to the best of your ability, according to your knowledge, applying what you learned, the things that, there's some things that are in the Levitical law that you just can't do right now. That's why we have a grace period. But the things that we can do, we can apply to our lives. So let's move on from that and let's go, let's keep reading it. Let's go over to 1 Corinthians. Chapter 10. 11.
1 Corinthians 10 and 11. Now all these things shall happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonishing, upon whom the ends of the world are come.
So that's beautiful. Now these things happened unto them for an example. Okay? So the things that happened to Noah, that was for an example. The things that happened to Lot, that's for an example. For us. Because we're the ones that are actually at the real end. So all these things have happened to them for an example. And they are written for our admonishment, for our learning, for our understanding. And upon whom the end of the world are come. So that we need to understand these things because the end of the world is coming. Shalom Akiyah.
Shalom.
Let's jump over to the book of, oh man, I didn't even put the verse. Hold on. Let me see. Sometimes I'll be writing notes and I forget to put what verse is actually in there. So 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and you know what? I'm gonna have to skip over the I can't remember what I wanted to say in Ezra, so I don't want to read the whole chapter right now to find it. So let's go back over to the book of Luke, chapter 21. Luke chapter 21 and start at verse 5.
Luke chapter 21 and 5. And as someone spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, as for these things which ye behold, the days will come in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
And I gotta get that really quick. So let's go back over to Matthew 20. I'll get this. You stay right where you're at. Matthew chapter 24. I should have. Well, I'm glad I didn't bring it out. But Matthew chapter 24, and when you read 1, and it reads, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and the disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. So they wanted to show him around and show him everything. Look at all these great buildings. Okay? Hold where you're at, that verse you just read. And Jesus said, and Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Read that again.
As for these things which ye behold, the days will come, and the weight there shall not be left one stone upon another.
So that's Yahushua telling them that there's going to be a great destruction where everything is torn down. And this is what I wanted to show you right here, because this is really important. In verse 3, Matthew 24:3, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So he's telling you everything's going to get destroyed, and now the disciples want to know when is this going to happen, because they know it's not happening in their time. They also, if you're reading it correctly, it shows you that Yahushua has to leave and come back. So they know that he's got to go. So read that again. No, read the next verse. I'm sorry. Let's move on from that. Next verse.
And Luke 21:7, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass?
So what are the signs that's going to be? Well, we've already told you. We're going to have these earthquakes. We're going to have volcanoes. We're going to have uproars of the people, riots in the streets. We're going to have a wicked ruler that thinks he's God. In fact, what is he going to do? He's going to sit in the seat of God, calling himself God, thinking that he is God. Thessalonians chapter 2 and 4. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worshipped, so that he sit as Yahweh, sitting in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. All this, so that's Trump right now. You go against Trump, he'll write an executive order against you. If you give a bad statistic of what Trump's doing, he just did this yesterday. He fired the person that brings out the statistics of the jobs. Come on, man. This guy, if you go anywhere near him, he's going to do something to you at the end, no matter what. So, going back to it, keep reading where you were at on Luke.
Luke 21:8, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them.
Do not follow after these wicked people calling themselves the Christ. Like the guy I was telling you about that walks up and down with the bullhorn, always harassing us. I think he changed his days, because you can only see me and my son here, but there's other people here now that don't like to hear that, and I can't stop them. So I did last time, but I think he got the message finally that there's people around that don't really want to hear that. But it says, what does it say? Don't go ye not therefore after them. Don't believe what they're saying. Don't follow their false doctrine. Nobody is saved at this point, pursuant to Matthew 24 and 13. It says, he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. So if you have to endure till the end, nobody can be saved at this time. Not me, not my sons, not my friends, not my family, and not anybody outside of it. It doesn't say that in the Bible. It says, he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. So that means there's things that you have to go through and do to actually get into the kingdom. They don't teach that in church. They teach that if you accept Jesus as Lord and Savior, you're saved. That's bullshit, because it says, I chose you. You can't choose me. So that's why they hate us in the first place out here on the streets. All we do is come with truth. All we do is tell the truth. You know what? You want to be a rebel? Stand out here with me and see how much flack you get. You want to be a real rebel? Stand out here and read the Bible for what it really says. Don't take no money for it. Don't take anything other than the satisfaction of knowing you got to teach the truth for a day. Yeah. Then you might have a chance. But that's what's really going on out here right now. It says, keep going where you left off. Because it says, what did he say? It says, go ye not thereafter them. So we're not going to follow with these people with the false doctrine. Read the next verse.
But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, but be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by.
So it's saying the same exact thing as Matthew chapter 24. It's telling you that that you shall hear of wars. Now we know about the wars, the commotion, all the riots, all the civil unrest, and be not terrified. Once again, he's telling you, this isn't for you. This is what I have to do to bring forth the end. It's not for you. The children of Israel, that 1/3 sincere children of Israel, he says, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. The end is not happening yet. In fact, the end that you guys think and the end that's going to happen are probably two different things. The end of what you think is the whole world being destroyed, which will happen. But the end that we see is the end of the rulership of Esau and the beginning of the rulership of Jacob. So that's the end of the world for us. Your world, not ours. So keep reading. Verse 10.
Then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs there be from heaven.
And it says, be not terrified, but it's telling you about famine. And then you see that they got rid of, they're literally systematically removing all the immigrants who actually did all the farm work for us. So now all the farms are ripe, they're ready for harvest, and there's no one to harvest them. So guess what's happening to all the crops as I teach this class? They are rotting. And a lot of the farmers are just burning down the farm to keep the rotting from, I don't even know why. They're just like, if we can't have it, no one can, I guess. But I guess it has something to do with germs and bacteria, all that rotting vegetables by stink too. So I wanted to bring this out too. Because of the famines, there's going to be no food. So we've got to go into the MOTB real quick too. Go into Revelation chapter 13, and I'm going to get this real quick. The birds of the air fall among So I'm gonna hold it right there, and you got Revelation. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys something. It just told you that there's gonna be famine. So I was explaining how they're taking away the food. That is by design, so they can have full control over you. If you want to control something, take away the food, and they'll do anything you want.
In Gaza.
It's happening in Gaza. They're starving to death.
They're starving you.
But
the evil Israelis are starving you.
But I want to show you something. As the 1/3 Israelites, it said, and it's, watch this. It says like that there's going to be famine and pestilence. Listen carefully. This is Matthew 26 and 26. Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not. You know, let's get it in the Amplified Bible. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow seed, nor reap the harvest, nor gather the crops into the barns, yet your heavenly Father keeps feeding them. Are you not worth much more than they? So in other words, when they implement this MOTB, which is something that's going to happen pretty soon, I don't know if you guys been watching the news, but a guy just got on an airplane yesterday. He didn't have a boarding pass or a ticket. He just had his MOTB. And so it's coming soon. But the point I'm bringing this out for is because during these famines, the Most High is still going to feed the faithful. Israelites. I will show, I got faith, I've got works. Well, I'm going to show my faith by my works. We're going to have to move this camera again. It's starting to run out of shade. I told you, man, we'd be out here jumping around. I think that's good right there. You could still see us. We're still going. No, you're perfect. Unless you're inside. We're switch places there. So if you want to sit, just come out this way. So we know that the Most High will take care of us. Legitimately, He's going to take care of the birds. They're not doing anything. He takes care of them. He takes care of the beasts of the field. We're the only ones planting and farming. Nobody else is doing that. So no other beast of the field, no other animal has to plant or farm. Just us. I mean, well, squirrels, I mean, they'll hide some nuts, but I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, the Most High takes care of us is what the point is. These people that say that they're going to take care of us are only trying to trap us. So go ahead and read me Revelation chapter 13, give me verse 16.
Revelation chapter 13 and 16. And he causes all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
And then, read the next one.
And that no man might buy or sell save that he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
So, going back into that man-made famine that we're having right now, getting rid of the immigrants. I don't know if you guys remember during Biden, they killed off all the livestock, and the cattle rancher came in there and said, yeah, they paid me, but they told me I couldn't give any of the livestock out to the people. And they said if I didn't take the deal that they would just kill my livestock and not pay me. So they were doing that during Biden. Now during Trump, they get rid of all the immigrants. Now we do have our famine coming. And so what is the point of the famine? So they can have full control over you because you control the food, you control the people. But during that, you also have all these immigrants. So you are going to want, and then they have the sleeper cells, this and that. So they keep doing more and more confusion and distraction. But really, it's coming down to we need to know who you are, what you're doing, where you're from at all times. And if you want to eat, we got to make sure that all the people that eat are going to be digitally subscribed to society so we know who you are and what you're doing. So you're not going to be able to buy, sell, or trade unless you have this MOTB. But it's by design. So they're taking everything away right now. Right now, as we're speaking, they're slowly taking away our rights so they can implement that, so they can keep a closer track on us. This isn't nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. We already went through that. And they did this back in the time of the Romans, too. They make you get a brand on your arm to show your allegiance. Let's go back over into Revelation. I'm going to stay in the book of Revelation. I'm going to go to chapter 6. So stay in Revelation, go to chapter 6. And start at verse. Read it. Start at verse 4 and read. Revelation chapter 6.
Revelation chapter 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, and where he had opened.
Wait. Let's address that real quick. Another horse that was red was given power to him to sit thereon to take peace from the earth. So that happened. Nobody's at peace anymore. We're all in an uproar. Everybody And it's like a slow one drop at a time as it increases, and then all of a sudden you get to the point where it's just completely out of control. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the rioting, they have been in multiple different riots throughout this year for multiple different reasons, pertaining to the government and the immigrants, and then everything that's happening right now for the last 5 years is literally bringing us right into the end. So the earth, the peace has been taken from earth. We're on a countdown to World War III. Read verse 5.
Verse 5! And when he had opened the third seal, and I heard the beast say, Come and see, and beheld a glowing black horse, and that he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Keep reading. And he had a pair of balances in his hand, like scales. Okay, keep going.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of what? Wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
So what they're doing is they're rationing things out because there's no food. Then he opened the 4th seal. Keep reading. Verse 7, he opened the 4th seal.
And he had opened the 4th seal, and I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto him then over the 4th part of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
So now if you were to go back to Matthew 24 and 11-3, what will be the signs of the end of the world? Well, these are the signs of the end of the world. When there's hunger, there's death, there's pestilence, famine, earthquakes in diverse places. These are all the signs of Yahweh visiting us again, letting us know that his return is soon, way sooner than we anticipated. So it's time for all of us to actually get our minds right. Let's keep moving around. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. And 2 when you get there.
Isaiah 19:2.
Let's start from the top.
Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it.
We live in spiritual Babylon. We live in, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, secret Babylon. This is Egypt that he's talking about. This is the Egypt. And it says, and behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. That reminds me of Revelation 12 and 11. And I will call them, they will ascend into a cloud. Remember, come up hither, and they ascended into a cloud. Revelation 11 and 12. He's coming swiftly on that cloud. And all the idols shall be moved. Those idols are all the false gods and all the false worships of the people. Read verse 2.
And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor,
Egyptian against Egyptian. And I mean, from the government all the way down to just neighbors having disputes. It's been happening for a while. But I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor. You know what's crazy? When I think city against city, you know how well planned out that is? If you're a New York Yankees fan and you're an LA Dodgers fan, wouldn't that put you guys against each other at some point? This is all by design. So they want the end to come too, because for some reason they think they're going to be able to fight against Yahushua and win. That's a lot of pride. You got to be real proud of yourself to have those kind of thoughts. Real proud. And so I will say Egyptian against Egyptian. They shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor. And we're doing that right now. So this is the sign, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the Most High has begun to visit us again. And it's getting worse and worse and more powerful each vibration. That's why they always bring up the travail of a woman giving birth, because the closer she gets to the birth, the more pain she's in. But once the baby has been delivered, once the Israelites are going to be delivered, all of the pain that we've gone through is going to be forgotten. We're going to instantly be in joy, happiness, and relief. And when we see the destruction, it's going to scare the crap out of us. We're going to drop back down to our knees again and pray to the Most High for just being thankful that He didn't leave us there. He didn't leave us behind. Some people are going to be left behind. So, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. I will destroy the counsel thereof. What's the counsel? The government. You can't tell me this government isn't being destroyed one day at a time. I mean, every executive order chips away at their government just as much as it chips away at our Constitution. It all works together, and these stupid morons don't even realize it. They don't realize that they're taking themselves out by doing all this stuff. All of this is coming back to bite you in the ass. The spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof. I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. You know, like, what do they call that? What was it? The thing that they used to do, blood baths and what was it, spiritual cooking and all that weird shit. They've been doing that. This book is telling you what they're doing in the background. And you know that Kim Kardashian back then, I love taking blood baths. It's good for my skin.
Take your baby's blood.
Yeah, they're doing these things. So this isn't like something being made up and we're trying to stretch the truth. No, this is real. In fact, let's go ahead and let's get away from that and move around a little bit more. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 38. And start at verse 19.
Ezekiel 38 and 19.
Wait, yeah, read it.
For in my jealousy and in the fire of wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel.
Why is there going to be a great shaking in the land of Israel? Let me explain. Because I only knew you, so I'm going to judge you. So he's going to judge us first. Keep going.
So that,
Wait, was that it? Keep going.
so that fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground.
That's pretty specific. He's going to tear this place down. When he gets here, everything is destroyed. Everything is destroyed. And when it says that and the mountains shall be thrown down, That also talking about the rulerships of the other nations. Yahushua is the only ruler. That's it. Everybody falls under him. Keep reading.
And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, said Yahweh. God, if every man's sword shall be against his brother.
Keep going.
And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his hands and what? Bands. And upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone.
That sounds familiar. Have you guys seen what? So, how's he going to plead? This is beautiful. I will plead against him with pestilence, with blood. I will rain upon him, upon his band, and upon many people that are with him. Overflowing rain. Does anybody remember any overflowing rain in the last month? Does anybody remember what happened in Texas in the last month? The water within half an hour rose 23 feet. I'm 6 feet tall. That is 6 times 4. Four of me standing on top of each other. That's how high the water rose in Texas in half an hour. So you guys got to understand, these things are actually happening. I will rain upon, so overflowing rain, great hailstones. We've got hailstones right now that where was that at? That was in the Midwest somewhere. They had hailstones pretty much almost the size of this brick. And they were like crashing through cars. They were putting giant dents in the tops of the cars, blasting out the windows. So the Most High ain't playing around. He's showing you everything. Everybody else is in denial. Oh, that's just a freak of nature. Nope. How about fire? How about fire and brimstone? Now, I could have sworn that the biggest wildfire in all of history is happening right now while we speak. So all these things are coming to pass. All these things are happening right now. Let's keep going. 2 Chronicles chapter 15. Chronicles in the Old Testament. It's hot today too. And the times that are coming. So, wait. I want you to start at verse 3, because this is what this all has to do with anyway. Verse 3 is why everything is literally one of the reasons why everything's happening. Let's get it. 2 Chronicles chapter 15 and verse 3, and it reads,
Now for long season Israel hath been without the true God, and without a teaching priest, and without law.
So for a long season, Israel has been without a true God, without a teaching priest. So we've got all these priests, and say none of them are teaching anything. So they're not in the truth. So they're not teaching the truth. That's why it says without teaching priest and without law. If you go into any Christian church, the first thing they're going to tell you, come as you are, the law's done away with. Choose Jesus Christ. Even though I choose, you can't choose me. Keep going.
But when they in their trouble did turn unto the Lord, Yahweh of Israel, and sought him, he was found of them. But
That was 7. 15 and 6. A nation shall destroy the nation to your city. God did vex them with all habits. So where are you at? Oh, you read 4. I just want to read 6. So that's all right. Read 5.
at those times was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in, but great
Vexation.
were upon all inhabitants of the countries, and nation was destroyed of nation, and city of city, for Yahweh did vex them with all adversaries.
There it is. I'm sorry, you were supposed to be before, I forgot. But when they, in their trouble, did turn unto Yahweh, the Lord of Israel, and sought him, he was found of them. Do you see how easy that is? So the people that turned to the Most High, he accepted them. He chose them because those are the ones that he chose in the beginning anyway. Those are the only ones that are actually going to be able to turn unto Yahweh in their captivity. In fact, that goes into Baruch 3 and 7. Because we're going to watch this. Baruch 3 and 7. And for this cause, thou hast put the fear in our hearts. That's the laws back in our mind. And to the intent that we should call upon thy name, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquities of our fathers who have sinned before thee. So, it's saying the same thing. Going back over to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 38, KJV authorized. It said, where were we at? We were at Proverbs. Sorry, second Proverbs. It's a lot, yeah. I know it's getting hot out here, guys. We might have to close it down to this due to the heat index. It's like about 110 out here already. So, sorry, Salakia. So, going back to what I was talking about, in their trouble did they turn unto the Lord Yahweh of Israel and sought him, and he was found of them. So, what did we do in Baruch? We praised him in our captivity. What are we doing right now? We're living out the prophecy of Baruch right now. We're calling upon his name, and we're praising Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai in our captivity. I'm going to bring out a couple more verses, and we're going to have to shut it down. It's already up to like 110 degrees out here. I don't want my guy over here to overheat again. So give me Jeremiah chapter 25.
Jeremiah 10. Verse
32.
Jeremiah 25 and 32. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth.
Isn't that beautiful? So this is all part of Jacob's trouble. This is all part of Jacob's trouble. All these things have to take place. All of it. There's not one thing in here that's not going to happen. That's why that's why it says that Yahweh cannot lie. He couldn't lie to us. What do we need to be lied to for anyway? We already got humans for that. He can't lie because everything he says is the truth. What he says is going to happen. He's the creator. So, thus saith Yahweh, Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. That is happening right now. And a great whirlwind shall be raised up upon the coasts of the earth. So does anybody know what a whirlwind is? Giant tornadoes. And don't tell me you haven't seen no tornadoes this year, because we usually break the record from the last year. So last year we had a certain amount of tornadoes, and this year we're going to break the record. The year before last year we had a certain amount of tornadoes. Last year we broke the record. Each year the vibration gets more stronger and more powerful. Read 33.
And the slaves of the Lord shall be at the gate from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be limited, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be buried upon the ground, dumped upon the ground.
Well, see, the reason why you're not going to be gathered is because no one's going to mourn you. They're all going to be dead with you, first of all. And then you're going to be gathered by the birds and the beasts. So no one's going to bury you, because when the birds eat you, it says across the earth, like dung. What does a bird do when it's flying? It shits. It's going to be dropping your little body parts everywhere after it digests you in its system. You're going to be like dung across the earth. But actually, there's going to be so many dead bodies, it's going to look like piles of shit everywhere. That's how bad it's going to get. So it's still getting up there. What did I say? This is Jeremiah 30, 25, 32, and 30. And I'm going to bring out one more, and we're going to shut this down. I'm already getting into the sun. I can feel the heat touching me right now. Joel chapter 2, and I'm going to read it, verse 30, and it reads, "And I will show wonders in the heavens and the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke." Didn't I already tell you that? It's very redundant, because I keep saying the same thing for a reason. These are the things that are getting ready to happen. These things haven't fully happened yet. We're just seeing little tidbits here, a little bit there, but wait until he brings in full destruction. See, he does everything calm and orderly. And in that calm and orderly motion, before you know it, it's happening so smooth and slow, you're going to look up one day, it's going to be too late. So, Zechariah 14:3. And I'm just going to stop right there. I think you guys get the point. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai has begun to look at us again. He's begun to visit us. You can tell in nature. You can tell from the animals. You can tell from the way the earth is moving. You can tell from the sky. You can tell from the spirit of the people. And one big dead giveaway, you got the prophets right here back out on these streets teaching 100% truth, which is the reason why none of the other groups in the past were able to make it, like your Black Panthers, and to be a Crip. It used to mean, when I was a kid and I lived in LA, it meant community response in progress. A community response. So these things never worked out because they never had Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai backing them, because they never came back to the truth first to get help. They thought they could take things into their own hands. So we know that he's begun to visit us again, and we know that we're doing the right thing because we're prophesying these end times, and everything's happening the way we said they're happening. That means that if he prophesied, if it happened not, that prophet spoke presumptuously. Believe him not. But if those things do come to pass, that's a real prophet, and the Most High spoke to him those words. The Most High put the words in his mouth. And so, with that being said, if you got eyes to see and you got ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message today. Facing the east, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem,
and we want to give double honor to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers across the nation that are bringing out this 100% truth. Shalom.
Shalom.